Can you talk?
And I have the pickle to prove it.
Listen, can you talk a little bit about asthma?
Asthma.
What you just said?
Asthma is due to UCD. It's called unintentional chronic dehydration. And what happens is it's a natural response that your body goes through when you become chronically dehydrated. When you breathe in and out, you exhale a lot of moisture.
Right.
It's like when you breathe on glass, you can wipe it off. So you lose a lot of moisture through your lungs.
Right.
And so if you're dehydrated, you don't have enough water in circulation in your body to keep the lungs well moist enough.
Right.
And so what happens is, as a protection mechanism, your body will create mucus in the lungs and cover the inside of the lungs and create mucus, and you'll get mucus plugs. And it makes it hard for people to breathe. It's almost like they're suffocating.
Right.
And so the remedy for that is to do something as simple as drink 2 glasses of water and put a pinch of salt on and under your tongue, just enough so that you can register the
What kind of
sensation.
salt?
Well, the best salt you can get is Celtic sea salt, but like you can get Himalayan salt as well. But don't use the Sifto white crap that you buy in the store. It's got other crap in it.
Okay.
But that's the simple remedy is,
and what does that do now? Water and salt.
Water and salt. Well, water fills your stomach and it gives you the water that your body needs, and it will turn off the drought management mechanism within the body. And the salt, putting it on your tongue and under, gets into your system pretty quick. And what it does is it will, when it gets into circulation, it will bust up the mucus because salt busts up mucus.
Right.
And plus, salt is a natural antihistamine. So
what does histamine have to do with asthma? What is histamine? What does that mean?
What histamine does is it
It's like you hear that a lot, antihistamine.
Histamine regulates the body's water resources. It's what regulates water and diverts it to certain places where it's needed the most.
Okay.
So if you start taking antihistamines, you now have taken away the body's ability to do water management and allocate water resources to where it needs to go.
And people take antihistamines for allergies and stuff, right?
People take antihistamines for allergies, yes.
Yeah, okay. And that actually depletes the body of water?
It depletes the body of water.
Okay.
And plus it shuts off the histamine mechanism
Response.
in the body. Yeah.
Okay.
And so, so medicine looks at histamine as being the culprit. So basically, we'll give people an antihistamine because histamine is what causes the response.
I see.
If you come in contact with an airborne allergen or something like that, or your lungs are dry, but histamine is the water regulator. The body shut it off, then you're going to make your dehydration worse.
Oh, wow.
All you need to do is drink 2 glasses of water and put some salt in your mouth, and you can, within minutes, stop an asthma attack.
That's right. And can I ask you one more question? You spoke about, before I turned the camera on, about how certain parts, like certain organs, are more important, and if you're dehydrated, it's going to pull water from certain areas of your body.
Yeah, your brain is the most important thing that needs to be kept hydrated at all costs, and it will be at the expense of other parts of your body,
right,
like your intestines, your lungs, your joints, your skin, whatnot. Well, actually, there's 2, but the brain is the most important. It gets the king's ransom, they call it, of the water that's in circulation. Then the next one is the blood. The blood has to be kept at a certain pH level, and it also has to be kept at a certain consistency, or you're going to get high blood pressure.
Right.
If you're dehydrated, your blood is thick and pasty, and you're going to get high blood pressure, and it causes your heart to pump more, and that causes heart problems as well. Okay. But anyways, that's a different story. But anyways, yeah, so your brain has to be kept hydrated, same with your blood. It will be at the expense of other things. You don't have to, so it's, your lungs use up a lot of water, and so do your intestines for digestion, and your joints and your skin. I mean, basically, you're just a walking reservoir of water for your brain. And if your brain determines that it needs water, it's going to pull it from other places of your body. And the lungs are the first places. And
that it'll take from.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's simple. And this was known back in the days of Rome. Like the Roman Empire was all over the place, and they were in hot climates a lot. And they didn't have a lot of medicine and stuff to hump around, but one thing that they did take a lot of was salt and water. See, salt and water are the most important things. Actually, water is more important than oxygen, because oxygen gets, in order to be transported and used by the body, has to be dissolved in water. So without water, you can't even use it. If you're dehydrated, you're not even going to get the proper amount of oxygen. As a matter of fact, the #1 cause of chronic tiredness, I suppose, or chronic fatigue during the day especially, is dehydration. Because your body produces hydroelectric energy first and foremost before it utilizes other chemical reactions in the body to make energy. So when there's not enough water in circulation to create energy, it'll start taking sugars and converting that into energy. And the byproduct of that is acidity, and you'll get acidosis, which causes skin problems and all kinds of other stuff. I mean, water is an intricate thing, and it's people don't drink enough of it. It's kind of funny when I ask people how much water they drink, they always overestimate, you know.
That's
people
right.
always drink less than they say.
That's right.
You know, and you got to say you can't include pop. Like pop is shit. It's garbage.
And people assume that Gatorade and things that have electrolytes and stuff that are specifically made for athletes, I mean, isn't that just as good as water?
No, it's not, because of the fact that Gatorade is very acidic, and so it contributes to the problem of unintentional chronic dehydration, because, and plus, acidic environments don't hold oxygen very well, so that people become very tired. It can affect people's performance during the day at work or sports performance.
Okay.
And as for electrolytes, just take some fucking salt. Because there's all kinds of minerals and electrolytes in salt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway.
And is that what actually, I mean, obviously you're not a manufacturer of Smart Water or Gatorade, but I mean, is that what is it like a sodium content that they add to that stuff that gives it the electrolytes, I wonder?
They add electrolytes to it, but I mean, you'd have to question where their sources are, you know, what they do, because when you keep in mind, publicly traded corporations and big businesses are always trying to sell a product for the most and create it for the least. So you always have to question the motive when it comes to, like, you know, Smart Water and mineral water and this water and that water.
That's right.
And water that has electrolytes in it. You have to question, you know, what the source is and all that kind of stuff. But the best thing to do is drink water, and just drink pure water, and get some salt down your trap, and basically you'll, because if somebody's dehydrated, salt actually will make you retain water. So if you're dehydrated, taking salt is good because it'll make you hold water in a little bit.
Right.
And salt is what makes water move through the body, because water goes from places of higher concentration to lower concentration. So if you have a high salinity in a certain part of your body, water is going to rush there. So your brain and your body knows that, so wherever water is needed, it's going to increase the salinity of the area. You'll get a little bit of inflammation, because if somebody is swollen, and a swollen joint, if they hurt themselves, if you were to take a needle and pierce the skin and drain the fluid, it would be salty. Because what it's doing is it's sending salt to that area, knowing that water is going to go there. And when water rushes there, the water will flush out any of the damaged tissue, because you remove toxins and crap from your body through water, right? And through your blood.
So when you hurt yourself and your finger swells up if you get it slammed or something like that, that's the body's first response. Is that right?
Yeah, it's inflammation. It's trying to basically bring water to the area and and blood will rush to the area as well. But the first thing that'll go there will be inflammation in the form of water.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Cool.
Yeah, it is, and it's so simple, but people just don't know it. And you know, and people need to be educated on how to even drink water.
That's right.
People don't even know how to drink water.
Well, because is all water created equal? I mean, I guess from a creational standpoint, it was at one point, but it's not now. I know.
Yeah, no, all water is not created equal. Like, you know, the type of water that is readily used by the human body is high alkaline. It's microclustered, which means that the water molecule clusters are smaller, therefore they can penetrate deeper into tissues and cross over cell membranes easier, and also take good stuff into the body and into the cells and flush out stuff, a byproduct of cell metabolism and muscular exertion and all that kind of stuff, and acid waste from the body as well. So the water that we drink today is in water molecule clusters of about 11 to 16 molecules per cluster. And the type of water that the body actually needs is between 5 and 6 water molecules per cluster. So water isn't making it to a lot of parts of the body and is causing a lot of chronic diseases.
Because the molecules are too big for the body to absorb?
That's right.
Wow.
They don't cross over cell membranes as easy because they're larger, plus they don't penetrate deeper into tissues. They don't go further into the body.
So if somebody is drinking, let's say they're in an office and they're drinking, they're getting their water from a tap or even from one of those big spring water jugs, and they're being diligent and they're taking, they're drinking 8 glasses of water a day, is there a possibility that even though they're doing that, they're still not getting the right amount of water because it's not clustered properly?
That's right. It's not clustered properly, plus it's acidic. Any water that comes from a bottle, I don't care what kind it is, if you get those big blue jugs you see in offices that you turn upside down, that water is all garbage. It's all acidic, and it's not microclustered. And basically, that's why people can drink tons and tons of water and still
feel thirsty.
Dehydrated. Because that's the reason, because the clusters of water are too large. The body's not, and plus it's not like as bioavailable as water that is properly clustered. And there's only 2 places on the planet right now that you can get this kind of water. It's the Hunza water in the Himalayas there, or Tibet, or whatever, it's that part of the world somewhere. And also in Lourdes, France. And people travel from all over the place to get this water specifically because it has the exact same properties as the water that the body naturally needs. And they call it miracle water because it heals so many things.
Right.
Well, go figure, because it's the kind of water that the body needs.
That was actually created for us to drink.
So they call it miracle water, when in fact it's the way water should be, not the garbage that we get out of a faucet.
That's right.
Even the well water, we have well water here. Even our well water isn't microclustered because it's exposed to our environment, right? Yeah.
So if you're living in Nova Scotia or any other place in the world other than those 2 places, what should people do
What people should
to get good water?
Well, the best place to get water, I suppose, is from a well that has been tested. You know, somebody who tests their water regularly. Get them from natural springs, but then again, you never know what you're getting, because water from springs, you have to be careful because it's only as good as what's around it. You know, what subdivision, what kind of stuff do they use on the roads? Do they sand the roads? Do they use salt on the roads? Do they use chemical anti-freezing stuff on things? You know, somebody's lawn
pesticides, herbicides,
have pesticides on it, you know, that kind of thing. So water source is only as good as what's around it.
Okay.
So you always have to be careful with that. But people have to take responsibility for their drinking water, because just because it comes out of a faucet and it comes from the city and it's chlorinated, it's got fluoride and all kinds of other stuff in it.
That's right.
The whole purpose of that, well, fluoride has no business being in water in the first place. So let's just talk about chlorine. Chlorine basically is put in water to make it safe. And in our attempts to make water safe, we made it very unhealthy. And so in order to get water from the lake to your faucet, it has to be chlorinated, because it picks up all kinds of bacteria, crap, and fecal matter, and volatile organic compounds and all that kind of stuff. And so in order to get to your faucet, it's safe. But it's your responsibility to make it healthy. You see, people think that, oh, it's coming from the water, it's treated, it's safe to drink. It is safe, but it's extremely unhealthy. And it's up to us to take responsibility for taking the chlorine out of the water, getting the fluoride out, and making it back into a form that you can drink again. And something as simple as filtering your water, you know, is easily done. I have one of these things over here. It's a water ionizer.
Okay.
My water comes from a well, so we don't have to worry about fluoride or chlorine. And but we still have volatile organic compounds through organic matter and fecal matter and E. coli possibilities and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have a filter downstairs that filters the water that comes into the house before it's piped through, so our water is able to be drank as it is. But we run it through water ionization, which pulls the water molecule apart and restructures it so that it is in a format that the body can use.
Right.
It makes the water molecules between 5 and 6 water molecules per cluster, as opposed to 11 to 13, 16 water molecules per cluster. Plus, it makes it highly alkaline, it's restructured, and it's a natural antioxidant and detoxifier of the body.
So, and now for people who, like for myself, for example, I live in downtown Dartmouth, and you're, you know, out, as you said, on well water. So somebody drinking tap water from, now what if I was to get like a Brita, or if I boiled my water beforehand, does that make a difference?
Boiling the water,
what does that do?
Boiling the water will kill bacteria and stuff in the water. Like if you don't have chlorinated water, because in order to make it safe, well, then you should boil water. You should boil all water that comes from natural sources like rivers, streams, and whatever.
You should boil it first.
Yeah, you should boil it first. But in boiling it, you're not removing...
Does that take away fluoride or chlorine?
Well, boiling it, of course, yeah, boiling it will take away fluoride and chlorine.
Oh, will it? Okay.
Yeah, it will. It's probably... a good thing to do.
Yeah, like if I don't have a lot of money and I can't afford even bottled water, or, you know, those big jugs that you get at the, you know, I'm just...
Well, you know, sometimes when you're cooking something on the stove and you want to reduce it, and it gets thicker and more of what you want stays in the water evaporates. Well, here's the problem with sometimes with boiling water, you'll get that similar effect where you'll boil the water, H2O evaporates, oxygen and hydrogen will evaporate, and then basically there's some compounds that don't evaporate, and basically you could unintentionally be concentrating the very crap that you're trying to get out.
Oh my God. Okay. So that's not good.
Well, I mean, it's good for a short period of time.
Yeah.
I mean, because
if you have no choice, like...
I mean, E. coli, boiling your water will kill E. coli and all that kind of stuff, but there's volatile organic compounds that are in the water that come from plant material that the water picks up, and they don't test for this kind of stuff. They test for very specific things, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, chlorine is great, but the water sometimes will have, they're called VOCs, volatile organic compounds, and there's millions of them in our water, and you can't see them just because your glass is clear.
Sure.
With water in it doesn't mean that the the
Right.
VOCs aren't in it, but they are. What happens is that the chlorine will chemically react with these volatile organic compounds, and you'll come up with a compound that you don't even know that you're drinking. And they don't even know what it is. I mean, it's limitless.
Right.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're in the midst of a water crisis, really. Nobody really knows, and a lot of people don't care, but you hear a lot about, fracking that's going on, and how water is being contaminated, and, just environmental toxins. I mean, they're even finding medication in the water now. Go figure, because half the population in this country takes medication for one reason or another, and we're pissing and shitting this stuff out. It makes its way into the water supply. But when you take a look at the list that they treat for at the water treatment plants, it's not Haldol, and it's not like lithium, you know what I mean, or it's not, antidepressants,
Right.
that kind of stuff.
Right.
That's all making it into the water.
And we're drinking it.
And it mixes with chlorine, and when you mix it with chlorine and even fluoride, you get a whole different chemical compound.
That they don't even know what the effects of that is.
So yeah.
And without going into, and I know it's probably challenging, I just want to ask you very quickly, because some people, when they hear the word fluoride, they think, well, what's the big deal with fluoride? I mean, it's in my toothpaste. It's, it's in toothpaste that's recommended by 4 out of 5 dentists. What's wrong with fluoride?
Fluoride basically is a byproduct of making fertilizer. And people say, yeah, well, fluoride occurs naturally in the environment, doesn't it? And yeah, it does. But the fluoride that they're putting in our water is not the same kind of fluoride that they, I think it's fluorosilicic acid, which is a byproduct of making fertilizer. And so that's the kind of fluoride that's being put into our water. And there's absolutely not one shred of research that indicates that drinking fluorinated water actually reduces cavities. There was one study that was done that says it might reduce cavities in children by half a cavity in a lifetime. And so when you put that against the benefits for your teeth versus the negative health benefits of the water, it's got no reason being in the water.
Okay. And obviously when we're drinking it, it's not like we're swishing it around in our mouths and spitting it out. We're actually ingesting it, which is not
You're absorbing it through your mouth.
Intention.
Yeah,
right.
You absorb it through your mouth. On some tubes of toothpaste, you'll see a warning that says if you swallow any of this, call poison control. And there's a good reason for that. And but anyways, fluoridation is a big farce. It's a way to get. They used to dump the byproduct fluoride right into the rivers and lakes, and it was killing fish and all that kind of stuff. And so they, the powers that be, the people who got the money, hired some people to do studies that determined that fluoride was good for teeth. Therefore, they reintroduced it back to the water again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
now,
that's a whole other topic.
You don't have to worry about filtering your water because you are a filter.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's powerful stuff. Something as simple as changing the water, taking responsibility above all things of drinking, of getting clean, pure drinking water. And there are many ways out there, like a real cheap way. They're only like $180, and they're like the Santivia things. They basically it's just like going through the earth, and it actually alkalizes the water too, but it doesn't microcluster it, so you still have that problem. But I mean, out of all the water things that you can get that are cheap, that are reasonably affordable, it's the Santivia water thing. You can get on the internet and Google Santivia, and you'll see the whole. And they're pretty cool. We had one here, but then we got the water ionizers.
Right. And can I ask one question about the Kangen? How does the Kangen remove toxins like that, like chlorine and fluoride and that from the water when it's passing through? Because I remember you've spoken about it to me before about the microclustering and alkalizing and that.
Well, we have a double protection here at our house because we filter our water before it even comes into the house. But there's a filter inside the unit itself.
Okay.
And you can filter specific things. Since we don't have chlorine and fluoride in our water, the filter that I have basically focus on volatile organic compounds.
Oh, so it comes with different filters depending on what your needs are. Oh, okay. Because I'm looking at getting one, and obviously my needs would be different being downtown.
Just a little filter. And you can get other filters that can fit this as well. They hook up onto the back.
Yeah.
And basically, you can get it so you can do the full meal deal. Basically, chlorine, fluoride, volatile organic matter, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's fine. But I mean, these are pretty expensive. But for people who are really, really serious about their health and about their water that they drink, you can't beat this.
And what is the statistic on that? I mean, if you're buying like one small bottle, like a little pop bottle sized bottle of water every day,
in the end,
it pays for itself, and then some.
Over 5 years of drinking bottled water, basically you'll almost come to the same price as
Right.
what you pay for one of these.
Of having one small bottle of water a day,
Well,
which
maybe
people
a couple,
drink
I
more
guess.
than that.
And
Yeah.
if you were to drink your water quota, like they say you should drink half your body weight in ounces of water, so if you're 100 pounds, you should drink 50 ounces of water a day. So that would equate to many bottles of bottled water. And so by drinking that much water out of a bottle, which is very bad for your body,
Not to mention the environment with all the plastic
not
and
to
everything
mention
else.
the environment with all the plastic
Yeah.
as well. And but anyways, yeah. So when you equate that on how much it costs over a 5-year period, it'll be the equivalent to buying one of these anyways. And these things will last forever if you maintain them. They're a medical device, So basically,
Okay.
they're a medical device in Japan, and there are many water ionizers out there on the market. And I had just in case somebody's wanting to buy one, so they don't have to reinvent the wheel, is that this is the company that put water ionization on the map.
Okay.
And water ionization was first utilized or invented by the Russians, and it was picked up by the Japanese because of their water quality, and they just went to town with it. As a matter of fact,
Right.
1 in 5 households in Japan has a water ionizer in it because of their water quality.
Oh wow.
And but
They have a lot of
anyways,
problems with mercury, more so, don't they?
They have
Is that
mercury,
right?
and they have high calcium in certain parts because of the reefs, coral reefs. And all that.
Okay.
But anyways, this machine is a medical device in Japan, and they use it it just produces various grades of water, acidic water of 2.5 right up to 11.5, and the 2.5 you can use to disinfect things. And as a matter of fact, they use it to clean surgical instruments in hospital rooms and trays and all that kind of stuff. And
Okay.
they use it to treat psoriasis and acne because it sucks the oxygen right out of the bacteria and all that.
Oh wow.
And plus, when you drink the water, if you have somebody who's suffered from psoriasis for years and years and years and years and years, they start drinking this water and they're treating it from the inside
Right.
because of, you're clearing up the acidosis, the over-acidity in the body, and plus you're spraying it on the surface of the skin, so you're attacking it from both ends. And you can, I've tried to talk to people about how this actually works, really well for psoriasis.
Sure.
Because I know a few people that have it, and eczema, and they're just hell bent on taking their prescriptions for it. When in
Yeah.
fact, this will take care of it, and if you keep on drinking the water, it'll get rid of it completely.
Well, it's funny, because people, and I mean, I was one of them as well. I mean, the more, that I'm learning, when somebody has, any kind of skin issue, they don't think of solving it, as you just said, from the inside out,
Yeah.
right?
Well, people want the quick fix. I got a skin problem, I'm going to go to the doctor and get a steroid cream or something.
And what does that do? That just pushes it back in the body,
Yeah, it just
right?
keep the body, because all that is toxins coming out of the body. It's all toxins, and it's just pushing it out through the skin. Yeah. So, anyways, So water is it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And it's going to become a growing concern because as time passes, our water has to be more and more treated, and it's going to get farther and farther away from where our body's able to recognize, and
Right.
eventually water is going to be a hot commodity. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I wasn't planning on doing this, and you weren't either, but thanks for the impromptu interview.
Yes, no problem.
Bill Thompson.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Bye.
Bye.